You are now listening to the Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast, a weekly review of Monday Night Raw and other wrestling-related topics. And here's your hosts, Peter Day and Jake Grandi.
Hey!
What's up?
Buddha Monster Trunk.
Turn the bass up.
See, you know, he's on it, man. He's on it over here.
I'm here, like this.
I know. Don't bring it up. I figure I'll just like, what is it? Kind of like subtly, kind of like just put it in.
Yeah, there we go.
For those who are watching, fucking stink bug.
There we go.
Oh, thanks, dude. Normally there's nothing here. It's just like if you're watching on, if you're listening on iTunes or SoundCloud or whatever listening base. We got a stink bug in our fucking light right here.
A guest host here.
Yeah, and it's Vince McMahon. And then I just put like a little black cloak over the table that we normally talk on.
Yeah,
so
looks nice.
It's a shower curtain.
Well, it still looks good.
So, hello, boys and girls. You are now listening and watching Peter
and Jake
Talks Wrasslin, episode 72. We were really off last week with the...
What did we say, 74?
We were like 74, 73.
I think we always think we're doing more than we have.
Yeah, I mean, what you think about it, 73 episodes.
That's not too shabby.
I mean, 72, like, that's a lot.
Does that mean we're going to be getting around 100 for Mania?
Would that be 100 for Mania?
That'd be kind of interesting.
30, well, that's 30 weeks.
There's 30 weeks?
So we're talking...
We'll be right around Mania season for 100. That'd be kind of cool.
That will be fucking cool. So you're talking... That's April, right?
Yeah, April 3rd.
April 3rd. And our 2-year would be... So it's like 60... So 100... Yeah.
104. So, yeah, like maybe the recap for Mania. That's going to be cool. That's it. Look at that. Hell yeah.
Dude, that's nuts. Well, anyway,
that can't be right. I don't know.
We'll figure it out at some point. We'll do the count on the calendar. But, yeah, episode 72, Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin. And this is our last Peter and Jake Talks Wrasslin podcast for the year 2015.
There we go. Hell yeah.
I mean, obviously, this is the last Wednesday of the calendar year, so it's our last one. Why do we have to actually announce that? Like, don't you think that's pretty redundant? Just to be like, well, this is our last one of the year. Like, duh.
This is true, but I guess it's just you got to make it a big deal. If you're not going to make it a big deal, who is? We got to hype it up. Maybe there's one person who only listens to us some of the time, and then we hype that up. They don't
because have you found yourself doing like this on like New Year's Eve? Like, oh man, this is my last coffee of the year.
Yeah,
oh yeah,
head. Yeah, definitely.
You do that? Like I catch myself doing it, and I'm like, dude, stop.
Yeah, it's just another lap around the sun.
Yeah, you know, I was like, oh man, it's my last dump of the year. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
It's my last porn of the year. Like, you just put everything in, like, the last thing of the year. So,
are you doing anything for New Year's?
Am I doing anything for New Year's?
New Year's Eve or New Year's Day?
DJing.
Yeah. Is it normally pretty lit on New Year's Eve?
Well, yeah. I mean, I get lit, but, like, everyone else is getting so lit.
It's ridiculous.
And everyone's kind of rude.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
I hear you, man.
You there, Jack Swagger?
I'm here.
Yeah, everyone's kind of rude, too, so you got to be on point, you know? Unless, because I'm kind of uptight when it comes to...
Uppiness?
Well, yeah, I'm kind of uptight when it comes to DJing.
Yeah.
So, not only am I uptight, I'm also anxious. I got to do everything right. I got to toast, you know, and stay on point. Then you got people who normally never go out. Like, that's the thing about, like, Halloween and New Year's.
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, people who never go out, they decide to go out.
This is true.
They don't know how to act. They can eat a dick, penis souffle. They got to go. So check this shit out, right? Quickly, best and worst.
Of the week, let's say...
we have a shared worst.
We have a shared worst?
Mm-hmm.
What is that?
Panthers going down in flames to the Falcons.
Jesus, I'm a bartender at a chain restaurant, and how about I was watching the game with a nice family.
You're not going to tell anybody where you work so they won't come and pester you? Paparazzi?
I'm just because
fans?
There's we just got to keep that on lock. But I was watching the game with a family that just wanted to watch the Panthers win. And then how about 2 minutes to go, we're setting up for this big 40 person table, and about 20 of them coming at once. All Atlanta Falcons fans, like, oh, what's the score of the game? I'm just like, hey, we're losing. And they're like, who's we? And I was like, what do you mean? Fuck. And I saw them start smiling at the score, and I was like, son of fuck.
I don't care. They lost to fucking Blaine Gabbert. The way I see it, 1 and fucking, I mean,
1 and 14, but
14-1 isn't that bad. But I watched with my friend Derek, he's from Atlanta, and I just clown him. Not necessarily because of the Falcons. I clown him because he's a fan of the Falcons. Yeah. And I feel like you're the one Falcon fan, that exists on the planet and shit. And it's we were talking about some stuff, some T-shirt stuff, and we were watching San Francisco versus the Atlanta Falcons. And I sat there and I just go dude, you're not going to lose to Blaine Gabbert. You're not going to lose to Blaine Gabbert. And he sat there and he just kept shrinking. He was the incredible shrinking man. And by the time that the time ran out, and it's I said, there's no coming back from this. I mean, I think I even said to him, you could even beat the Panthers. And there's no coming back from losing to Blaine Gabbert.
There you go.
You're going to have to beat us. Whatever, dude. Y'all would have had to shut us out.
You think they got a wild card?
Who?
Atlanta?
Oh, hell no. They will actually try to go through the mathematics of them actually having a chance. And it's no, you have no chance. You have as much chance to make it to the fucking playoffs as Dallas did. So it's 1%. It's seriously, literally 1% chance.
That's nuts.
That's your... Maybe that wasn't.
Yeah, that was no. I had forgotten about that, but it might have been just a mental block from depression's sake. But,
what is it called? It's called post-traumatic
stress.
Yeah.
Block. So, but I would say best. I saw. Yes, I was telling you, I saw the Lakers play the Hornets. It was cool. Nice little speech. Good to see Kobe one last time.
Mm-hmm. How many times have you seen Kobe?
3 times.
3 times?
Yeah, I saw him one time in 2002 where he made this buzzer beater, and they even talked about it in the Charlotte paper on Monday. About how awesome that was, and then I saw him just one.
Oh, you got to talk about it?
No, no. They talked about it.
Oh, okay.
No, and then I saw him he was kind of half step behind. I mean, he was shell of his former self. It's good to see him retire, but it was nice to see him play one last time on out.
Mm-hmm. How did he turn out? What did he do?
It was 21 points, so not too bad. They lost.
Yes, you think?
Yeah, so. I don't know. Swaggy P looked good. He was playing well. Jerry Lynn was playing well.
Jeremy Lin.
It was an alright, but it was sold out, and it was just some random Monday game, and all the the workers of the Coliseum were pretty amped up, and he got a big standing O coming out. Standing O, he got benched with 2 minutes to go when it was obvious they were losing, and I don't know, it was pretty alright.
That's pretty cool.
What's your best?
Best. I started a sports podcast.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Hell yeah,
started yesterday. I've been contemplating doing one for quite some time. Just do a short hot take, sort of logical conversation. The way I do this, just sort of logic. Anti-Mark like you about sports. That would hit me, and I was sitting back going when am I going to do this? When am I going to do this? And then I got the news about Chip Kelly, because I was going to do it yesterday anyway, but I was trying to get the inspiration to do it. And then, boom, out of nowhere, Chip Kelly gets fired. And it was the greatest moment that could happen to help me get up and just start talking about Chip Kelly's firing.
He was the coach for the Eagles? Right?
And GM.
And GM? How did he get fired?
Because he's an asshole.
Oh,
I mean,
damn.
It boils down to him not wanting to sort of relinquish staff duties. Because he's the GM. He's been given the keys to the house. And, he got rid of some great players, didn't replace them with good players. The players that he did get in that were good, he poorly utilized them. People got fired and didn't need to get fired. He hired people who weren't, you know.
Well, is there anywhere where he's going? Like, why is
I don't know.
He's been there for
3 years. 3 years. 3 years. 3 years. But here's the thing: Black Monday. It's the last, you know, the day after the last Sunday's games. Black Monday. That's when everything goes. Like all the coaches, you find out which coach gets fired. That's next. That's next Monday. Like it was like Black Tuesday for him. So
they didn't give him a week, or is he?
Nah, he gone, dude. He got escorted out. He got the fuck up out of there.
Well, damn.
So that's a good. I would say, you know, the bad would be, you know, the Panthers going down. But again, it'd have been nice to sort of beat the record, go off and win. But like, you know, whatever. I don't believe in bad victories, bad losses. I mean, good losses either. Like people are like, oh yeah, it's a good loss. I'm like, what the fuck is a good loss?
I don't know. That's a bummer. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can only be undefeated for so long. I guess that's long and short of it.
Yeah.
So I guess they figured it's best if they lose now.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Instead of in the playoffs, I don't know.
I don't like
Things
that
coming
line.
at us.
Thing's an asshole. I might have to just pause this and deal. I'm gonna pause this real quick and then deal with this.
Okay.
We'll be right back. We got a stink bug problem.
And we're back.
And we're back. And now that the stink bug has left the building, we got him the fuck up out. He was as you would call
We wish that stink bug the best of luck on his future endeavors.
his future endeavors. He's on top of this shit. But did I give you my?
Yeah, we talked about best and the worst, it's like the last one of the year. Are we?
And being that it is the end of the year, I came up with the crazy idea of doing a 2015. Again, this is our second year
second
in
calendar year.
Yeah, year in
Review show.
Review show. We didn't do it last year. I don't think. I think we were cut pretty green doing this. So, I wrote down what happened the year 2015 wrestling year in review, and got the WWE and go over, you know, just the big things, and we're gonna go back and forth like quickly. Maybe take up like 30 minutes or so just doing this, and it's fun.
Good.
And maybe do like the last 30 minutes with Raw. It's gonna be WWE related stuff, TNA related stuff, New Japan related stuff, ROH related stuff, and a little bit of PWGR related stuff as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and kick off and try to keep it as chronologically as possible. So first off, this was the year of Roman Reigns. 2016, he was, this entire year was about him. It started off with him winning the Royal Rumble, getting his shot at the belt against Brock Lesnar, and then not getting that belt because of the cash-in, and then basically this whole year is just surrounded by the WWE machine just trying to build this guy up. The year of Roman. Success, unsuccessful, waste of everyone's time, or, you know, it's what's the word? We're kicking and screaming and it's going to work out regardless.
I think, depends on how you look at it. I think it is a waste of everyone's time, but it is successful. I think if you wanted Reigns to be your top guy, I think it's very successful. They started out booing him. Even if you bring out The Rock, they booed him. Now, I mean, same city, like almost a year later, going back to the Raw in Philly, they were all cheering him. So I think for all intents and purposes, it's successful, but I don't think he's the guy. So in one way, it is kind of a waste of everyone's time. But it is, I would say, overall successful.
Now, he is the guy.
Sure.
Do I like him? No, I don't.
They said that after Raw, him and Cena had like a stare down.
Oh, I actually saw it. I saw it. It was interesting because it was more Cena. It was more Cena involved. He climbs back into the ring because he vanishes at the end of Raw. You know, he just kind of gets kicked out of the ring, kind of vanishes.
Yeah.
And you see him kind of just sort of stroll in, kind of like walk, kind of half-step walk behind Roman Reigns. It's interesting because it was just a glimpse of possible heel Cena. You know, like why would he do this? And, you know, that whole thing was, at the end of the show, I saw it as sort of the young lion coming in and taking over the old lion's sort of den.
Sure.
You know, but we'll go into that. But, almost like overnight. I feel like he got way more over in the past 4 weeks than say the entire year.
Yeah, most definitely.
And people just like badasses. I guess that's what they getting him over as a badass. He's becoming a badass.
I think he's not looking dumb anyway. Like, he's always outsmarting the heels, which are the McMahon families. He's either outsmarting them by just beating them up, or like we see, like he's pissing them off and getting the better of them, which is something we haven't seen in a long time.
But even the people that they put in his way, Bray Wyatt, they put League of Nations. They put Rollins in front of him. Not so much Brock. I mean, he just happened to have to beat him at WrestleMania. So I really did consider that a feud. But like, is there one match with Roman Reigns? And we're talking more about him because he is the guy.
Yeah.
Like right now he is the center. He is the nucleus of the molecular structure that is wrestling. You know, because WWE is at the top, and your top guy of that top organization is the top guy in the galaxy. Like, you know,
in the universe.
It's just one of those things. It just happens to be, you know, like obviously Tanahashi or so Okada, you know, he's a respected champion in New Japan, but the needle doesn't move with him, nor does it move with Lethal, or nor does it move with Roderick Strong, who's still the PWG champion, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, you know, it just doesn't move with these guys, and it sucks. Who is the Evolve champion? Do you know who that is?
Yeah, Timothy Thatcher.
British guy.
No, he's not British.
Oh.
He's not British, but he wrestles British style.
Oh, okay. All
right.
But
more of like, I don't know, it's very interesting.
Thatcher, Margaret Thatcher.
He's a big guy, yeah.
So is there one match that's why we're talking about it? And we're going to ask one more question, and we're going to just move through the rest because there's a lot to go through, and we're not going to discuss it all, but we're just going to go through it. Things stand out to you.
Okay.
You know, just hop in. The match that stood out to you this year from Roman Reigns.
I'd have to say, to where I saw like a turning point and people booing and cheering him, I'm going to say like a few weeks ago when he won the title, where he hit Vince and beat Sheamus. I saw glimpses of that when he first speared, when he won the title and speared Triple H. So I think the more they have him going over these authority figures seems to work. So I would say, yeah, when he won the title. Most definitely. I think that's the turning point when people everyone stopped booing him. He doesn't have like even a mixed response like Cena has. He just gets kind of cheered now.
The end of WrestleMania was very interesting. I think it evoked the most emotion, the entire year. I think you take one moment in the WWE that it just evoked so much emotion was that very end of that WrestleMania match with him, and I think he hit Brock with like 3 spears, and you could just hear the gasp for everyone because he was just like, no. Everyone's like, no. You know, if you go and watch like videos of Roman Reigns of that WrestleMania match, and like people taking, you know, selfie videos of themselves and them reacting, and then the cash in happened, but that was amazing. But the one match that really stood out to me, and I think it was just like the WWE making its point, it's like this, like, look, guys, you're going to eat your fucking Brussels sprouts, and you're going to fucking like it. Daniel Bryan versus Roman Reigns.
Brussels sprouts or tater tots?
Yeah, what?
I don't know.
What the hell? Are you high? Yes, he's high, folks.
I was saying, you know how he said tater tots like a few weeks ago.
Oh, tater tots. Oh yeah, I get it. Yeah, you're gonna eat your tater tots and your prunes, and you're gonna like it. But yeah, it was like 2 weeks after he won the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
and the storyline was him having to I deserved my Royal Rumble win, and I deserved to face, and everyone was like, no,
no one bought it. Yeah,
no, and then like you have the previous of the Daniel Bryan. It was basically all the powers that be, shoulder to shoulder, saying, look, guys, Daniel Bryan's not that dude. And the match itself was pretty good. Actually, it was pretty good. It was a tale of two cities. The big metropolis versus the small village, and the small village fell. It's just, it had to be that way, and it evoked a lot of emotion. I think a lot of WWE fans, much like myself. I mean, I'm no Daniel Bryan mark, but I was totally against Roman Reigns. We didn't know what was going on, and we finally realized why. He's injured. He was injury prone. He wasn't going to be sustainable. He goes into the match. He puts up a really good fight. He gets overpowered. Boom, Roman Reigns is your guy. And I was like, that's the stamp. That's how we know, why we know that this guy's going to go over. Daniel Bryan, hottest thing since sliced bread and annihilators. And this guy that no one likes is going over on him. And we could do nothing about it. So that was the one thing. That was the one match that definitely stood out. So let's go further down. Speaking of Bryan, the return of Daniel Bryan and him entering the Royal Rumble and him getting knocked out unceremoniously, and that becoming a whole thing. And we just talked about the Roman Reigns and him going against Roman Reigns, that whole story arc. He later became the Intercontinental Champion in WrestleMania in a ladder match. AJ Lee retires.
Yeah.
She does her last job, and she gets the fuck on. The Seth Rollins cash-in. He won the Money in the Bank. He cashed in, creating a triple threat at WrestleMania 31.
I would say this is definitely my match that stands out this year. I would say this is like the story is like very much where it's like it's only I think it's only Reigns' year because Rollins is hurt. I think from the cash in to what they've been doing with him for a while, I think he was the man. So I think this to me is like the biggest. That's the match and the moment that stands out the most this year. First ever cash in at WrestleMania. First ever. Like,
it changed the game. I like to think it changed the game.
Sure. I think it's the biggest swerve probably like in a long, long time at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. The only swerve that really worked at WrestleMania, if you look back, like I know Vince and Austin joined. I think that was like 17, 18 or something like that. And then I think like Hogan came out and beat Yokozuna at 9. But like this was the only real surprise swerve that really worked at a WrestleMania. And it happened this year. It happened in 2015.
Yeah. It was like an onside kick at the Super Bowl. and they converted then went down the field and scored a touchdown. So I mean, it changed the game in terms of the Money in the Bank. It raised the opportunity. It got ruined later on. We'll get to that. The introduction of New Japan to Americanize through Wrestle Kingdom 9. It was a Global Force Wrestling promotion to the U.S. They put Matt Stryker and good old JR on commentary, and it basically opened the door to the idea of the popularity of New Japan now in the States. I think this was a great year for New Japan in terms of like the American thing. You got to think Jeff Jarrett. He did it. He put in the work to make that happen. If it wasn't for Wrestle Kingdom 9, I would not know who any of these people are. From Ishii down to Tanahashi, like it doesn't matter, and everyone in between. I wouldn't know anything. I think you already knew who it was because you were a big Bullet Club fan.
Well, I mean, I kind of knew it was through borrowing tapes and things from when I was younger. So I knew about I would say like a lot of the 90s stuff. Fell out of it in like the early 2000s, really just from lack of exposure. And then like around like I started paying attention again, but not really seeing it like episodically. Mm-hmm. Up until I would say like early part like late last year, where I would just like watch YouTube and stuff and then read about it. Mm-hmm. So I knew about like the style, knew about what New Japan was. So I knew about like guys like Liger, and then through like their matches with like Brock Lesnar and stuff, I knew like Nakamura was. I knew who like the top guys were, but I didn't really watch it like I do now, where I watch like every big show, probably some smaller stuff. And
episodic, it's a lot of wrestling to take in. The way they do theirs is really weird how they do their wrestling matches, and it's like it's best to kind of just watch the big shows rather than going from episode to episode.
Mm-hmm. Got my shirt on right now.
What you got here? King of Strong Style.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
Shinsuke Nakamura. There you go. That dude's awesome. But that's. I remember when we started talking about it, I was like, no one's obligated to know this shit. And I still believe that. But, check that shit out. These guys are fucking cool.
They're good.
And again, one of the only thing that Jeff Jarrett did right in his fucking life was to do that. And they did New Japan World as well. They got on Axis.
And now it's the guy that's on New Japan World, Ronaldo. What's his name?
Oh no, we get there.
Yeah.
We get there. That's right at the end. I'm trying to keep.
Okay.
All right. So TNA signs a deal with Destination America. They got dropped from Spike TV, and they were trying to get somewhere. And Destination America, which is a cable. Cables. What's the word I want to use?
It's like way in there in the cable package.
But it's like a side. It's a side. It's like a side channel to Discovery.
Yeah, if you get the Discovery package, I think it's like $11.99. The last channel is Destination America.
Yeah. So they get on that, and that's TNA survives another sinking ship. They dodge another glacier.
Yeah, but it doesn't end there though. They jump to.
No, wait for it. Wait for it. And then we get Lucha Underground. Around this time, around the beginning of the year, they had gone into the second part of their first season, and it was starting to catch a lot of fire. And what was great about this is that it introduced new wrestling stars, and it gave you another way to consume the sport that we all know and love. And while you're listening to us, and while we're doing this, the world of wrestling, we had never seen wrestling to this capacity put together like a television show. It's like, hey, anybody who wants to talk shit about like how Game of Thrones or Breaking Bad is so great, I said, well, hell, I'll raise you Lucha Underground, brother, and I guarantee you'd enjoy it just as much. I can't say that about Raw. I can't show someone an ROH
this is true
show. But I could definitely show them how a Lucha Underground is put together like a television show, and they'll accept it. So they changed the game a lot, and introducing Prince Puma. Who is
Ricochet,
a lot of B or even C rated Mexican wrestlers who just had nothing to do, and they were desperate for workers, and everyone that was on the top of like AAA and what's the other one, CMLL, they laughed at it. Like, we don't want to do this shit. So boom, we get fucking
Pentagon Jr., Drago.
What's Pentagon's brother?
Pentagon. I don't know, Phoenix?
Phoenix, yeah, we get Phoenix. Yeah. Phoenix, we get Cage, we get, we get this Lord, what the hell is his name? The guy that ran the joint.
Oh, I forget.
It's gonna hit me in a minute.
Slick back hair and everything.
Yeah, dude, whatever. Best villain ever. We just get like a whole new way to look at wrestling, and they just got a second season. I'm not mentioning it in the things because it's next year. We find out that they get a second deal, so I may as well put that out there. But Lucha Underground season 1, first wrestling shirt I ever bought.
That was definitely the surprise of the year. I feel like that was really cool.
Me buying a shirt?
Yeah, him buying a shirt was definitely the surprise of the year.
Oh man, we got so much to go through. So much happened this year, man.
Yeah.
Jay Lethal having the TV belt, but he beat Jay Briscoe. The story of two Jays.
Yeah.
Not two skinny Jays. Do you know that reference? Waterboy.
I don't know. Skinny J? Waterboy. I love Waterboy, but I don't know.
No, you're drinking water. No, just
no.
I'm just saying two skinny Jays. They're like a rap, whatever, white boy rap group.
Nice.
I think one's called Jay, another one's called like Jay, and they're skinny.
Hell
and they were popular in the 90s. Well, anyway.
Was it like good?
If you like that kind of hokey, jammy, silly rap.
Was it like a Vanilla Ice type of?
No, it was, I would say, more Scooby Snacks. What do they call?
Was it like stoner stuff? Or
yeah, like stoner rap. Like
okay.
It's good. It's just it's hard to take serious.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Two Skinny Jays. If you haven't listened to Two Skinny Jays, check it out. They're not bad. But Jay Briscoe and they fought at All Star Extravaganza. Was it? No, it wasn't All Star Extravaganza. It was. I
think it was.
Was it All Star Extravaganza?
I'm not sure.
Wait. Yeah, it was all any rate.
The big show.
My favorite match of the year. I'm not gonna say it's the best match of the year because best, worst, is all arbitrary.
Or wasn't it Glory by Honor?
Glory by Honor.
Was that it?
Maybe, I think so. And it's my favorite match of the year. I love this fucking match. I could not speak the world. You name a match? Nope, sorry. 30-minute woman match or both parts of what, the Divas feud? No. This match. I love this fucking match. Well, anyway, he wins and becomes the first ever ROH dual champion. House of Justice. House of
Truth.
House of Truth. I love those guys.
Yeah, Jay Lethal. This was definitely he was definitely the biggest thing in Ring of Honor this year. And then there's talk about how he might go up next year.
Well, see, dude. Again, I just if they do bring him up, don't change him. I mean, he wrestles.
And it was good. I think you definitely saw the evolution of Jay Lethal this year. Like, he was in TNA. He was a TNA guy who was brought into Ring of Honor after his contract ran out, and he kind of like went down. And we got to see a lot of like mimicking in TNA. Like, he did a Macho Man, and he did a real good Ric Flair, which sparked a lot of feuds, and it was funny. But now we got to see himself as him cut these promos.
And it's a collection of all the things that he mimicked. He's a student of the game, and that's what it really basically came down to.
That happened a bit last year, but I think it really took hold
this
year,
he
especially when he was the world champion and everything.
He is my favorite wrestler right now. Mm-hmm. Like, hands down, from top to bottom. And you know what? His transition to the WWE would be easy, man. I really think, because it's not like, even though he can wrestle in ROH, run and jump and crazy shit, he can wrestle this style. But he's a ground and pound guy. He's a technical guy that could you imagine a match? And you have to do him right. It's not like he's going to get shot to the top. Like, he's not going to be facing like Roman Reigns, say like Owens Cena. But like, I would love to see a match against him and Cesaro. I would love to see a match between him and Randy Orton. I would love to see a match between him, like and Dolph Ziggler, like some real workhorses, and like him build himself up. Because like, honestly, if I was to really choose, he's not a little guy, is he?
No, not too small.
If I was to choose at this point in time, who I would think the first black, like strictly black WWE champion I think could score money would be Jay Lethal. Yeah. Okay, you say, oh no, The Rock's black. Yeah, his dad's Canadian, his mom's Samoan. I'm talking about African American male, just African American male. I think he can do it, and he has the pipes.
What about the old King Booker?
He was WCW, and then he was the world champion. I'm talking about the WCW belt.
WWE?
Sorry, the WWE belt.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, but Booker, Jay, he's my fourth. I know we went off wild for Jay Lethal, but I love him.
Oh yeah,
you love him?
He's great.
You better fucking love him. The rise, and speaking of love, the rise of NXT. This was, if not the breakout year, even though they had already had some things go in and out, but like this year, and it was definitely on the backs of the divas. I think Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch, the Boss, Sasha Banks, and Bayley. Like, those girls really heightened the popularity of NXT.
No doubt.
Also, the signing of Samoa Joe and Uhaa Nation.
Uhaa Nation, Kevin Owens, Finn Balor, Hideo Itami, all these guys got signed this year.
This year? Okay.
Yeah.
You want to elaborate a little bit?
Well, they got to do, because of...
Being that you have a show and all.
I would say, it can't be understated that, like, signing, Kenta, Kevin Steen, El Generico, Prince Devitt, all these guys that pretty much everyone knew about through different facets of wrestling, to sign them all, separately, but throughout the year. Like, you pretty much made the who's who of, I would say, of indie stars. Like, you got to do dream matches. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens already was the feud of the year when they did it in Ring of Honor, and you got to do Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens, which was like the main star in Japan, light heavyweight junior champion. He was the IWGP Junior champion. He was getting so popular that they almost had him wrestle the world champion, and then he founded the Bullet Club, and then AJ took over. So he was and then you have Kevin Steen. He was like pretty much the biggest thing in Ring of Honor. Like, he was too big for the belt. Like, he had the belt several times, so they kind of just couldn't put the belt on him anymore. and you had them wrestle this year. Going from, I think, their first the Mania weekend, they did like a surprise show, and it drew like 5,000 people. Bring it to Brooklyn, they drew 13,000 people within the course of a year. I don't know, it's pretty nuts. I would say that is the story of the year. Sucks to be Lucha Underground. That's definitely pretty cool, but NXT definitely, I would say, took it.
Oh yeah, I mean the super indies, and
for sure,
they're taking more people, and that's the thing. The window is open. And again, I joke about, you know, I don't joke about it. I do believe that it's still a developmental league, a farm league, but it is great work. It's definitely great work down there. The guys are developing, and you know what? You can be an NXT lifer. It's okay, you know.
Yeah.
You don't have to go up to the main roster, and I think that's what's happening moving forward. I can see at some point, and depending on what happens once Vince McMahon dies, NXT will be its own individual. It won't be developmental anymore.
You don't think so?
And I think at some point, and depending, you know, you're looking at all these ticket sales. It's the hottest ticket on the planet right now. There's going to be something where he's going to refuse to give guys up. He's going to sign guys to NXT. It's going to be Triple H. These are going to be NXT guys.
I was thinking about this. Like, if you look at the guys who they brought up, are superstars they brought up this year, where it's like, you know, you have Neville, you have like the Lucha Dragons, you have Becky Lynch, you have the Ascension, and then you have Sami Zayn, who right as they brought him up, he got hurt. So now, would you rather be those guys, or would you rather be in NXT and be Sami Zayn right now?
Well, it's about.
I mean, money's one thing, but
it is.
As far as relevance, Sami Zayn is a lot more relevant than I would say any of those people.
I think, but Sami Zayn is a bit of an outlier. I think he can go to the WWE main roster and shine. He's an outlier. But the average person, the people who are on the main roster right now, who don't have the same steam as El Generico. You know, like, I think a guy like Cruz can go up and he'll do just fine because he's an outlier. He has something about him.
Yeah.
But then you look at a guy like, I don't know, you look at a guy like Ty Dillinger. It's not like he's going to go up. He's in NXT. Is he destined to go to the main roster, or is he happy having a job? It's not that he's relevant. It's just he has a job. I'm thinking when it comes to the bigger bangs that could actually draw money for NXT, unless they're trying to make that into a brand itself, to where the brand brings in money rather than the actual top heel or the top baby face. But it's going to be about buyouts.
Yeah.
If Triple H can match Vince McMahon, which he can't, I'm just saying hypothetically, if he can match what Triple H, what Vince McMahon could sign one of his prospects, one of the guys he rose on his farm, then yes, these guys are going to be NXT roster guys, and I think that's what it's going to really boil down to. Because if NXT grows and grows and grows, you're going to have like a Viacom situation.
Yeah,
Viacom was owned by CBS. Viacom outgrew CBS. Viacom owns CBS right now. Like, you know, the infant ate the parent.
Like a supernova for stars.
Yeah, you know, Oedipus Rex.
Yeah.
But that's what I think could be possible. Right now we're jumping the gun a little bit, but we see it. It could be a chance. It could be an opportunity that may happen, where the NXT absolves the WWE and the WWE becomes like super WWE with the NXT roster. But how it's going to be managed, how it's going to be a brand split, and how they're going to manage that is.
This is true.
It can get ugly. So, and the Diva call up, the Diva call up of Charlotte, of Lynch, and of Banks, starting the Divas Revolution. We have the reign of Bayley left down at NXT. Injuries to Atami and Sami Zayn. Huge holes that was left for the rise of Finn Balor.
For sure.
That was the storyline right now. You know, the birthing of the storyline of the NXT product as of now. AJ Styles becomes IWPG champion. He beats Tanahashi.
Yeah.
He beats Tanahashi for the belt. So he now is the IWP, not at that point in time. Deaths. The death of Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper, Vern Gagne, Nick Bockwinkel. That's
a bummer, yeah.
Big guys.
I think, Roddy Piper. I can't. It's crazy to think that they're like, even like Dusty and Roddy Piper, I would say, is definitely still weird to think that they're like never gonna hear a promo or see him on Raw again. Yeah. Even now, even months later, so that's kind of still shocking.
His last, he died the week at maybe 2 or 3 days after he was on the Rich Eisen show.
Yeah,
Like I remember listening to that and just being like uneasy, like watching that and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it was uneasy. Wow. And Rich Eisen talks about it. I think he talked to somebody. He was talking to on the Dan Patrick show. He's like, man, because they were like, yeah, Roddy Piper. He's like, and you did the last interview, and he's like, yeah, it was eerie. Like what he was talking about, because he was trying to talk about the Hogan incident, and Roddy was just trying to avoid it, and he was coming off weird. And speaking of Hogan, that bullshit that happened earlier this year, around the time of Roddy Piper's death, the attachment to whatever sex tape he had, within that sex tape, there's a conversation that's taped about his disapproval of a nigger that was a broke nigger that was dating his daughter Brooke, and the WWE pretty much excommunicated him.
Oh yeah,
for the time being, and he started doing any and everything possible to clean his name and to make him not owning up to his own mistake. He's been silent for the past couple of months, which is good for him.
This is just more bad press for wrestling. I can't believe that shit happened. I can't believe it. Yeah, I don't. It just puts a stain on all of wrestling.
I wasn't surprised. I'm just saying, like, own up to your shit. Like, that's why I was pissed the entire time. Like, stop making excuses. Stop going on your fucking social medias and showing pictures of you with black people. We give a fuck. Doing a podcast with a white person. Don't mean shit, right? Don't mean shit. I talk my share of shit about white folk on my social media now. Like, just different things. Not saying, oh, white people are horrible. It's just like, look, there's a conversation to be had about fucking race. And, like, there's a lot of black people that have issues with having to talk about it, and there's sure a hell of a lot of white people that have issues talking about it. So if you're talking about Hulk Hogan, right, this guy, he's going like, but I have black friends. It's like, shut the fuck up. Oh, I grew up around people that said that word all the time. Like, shut the fuck up. He's been quiet. He's shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance he may return to WrestleMania.
You think at WrestleMania?
Yeah, he's gonna be there
this year.
If he keeps his fucking red and yellow ass quiet, if he can just shut the fuck up for another 6 months, no Twitter, no Facebook, no interviews, no nothing. Yeah. That opened up the doors for his ass. They need him at WrestleMania. They need him. And I don't care. I'd be indifferent about it. I wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't necessarily be for it. But just shut the fuck up and just eat your fucking leather boot. Put some hot sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? Put some Old Bay on it. Eat it. And then fucking just fucking behave. That's it.
I'll accept that. I mean, every time I just think about Hulk Hogan saying a racist comment in the sex tape that leaked out, like, it's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck?
I would think that would happen more with Ric Flair.
Yeah. I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Rather than Hulk Hogan. So, cancel WWE Network. That thing, which responded to the Royal Rumble of Daniel Bryan getting kicked out unceremoniously.
I forgot about that, but fuck y'all, man. The WWE Network is awesome.
It's badass.
Yeah, I've been watching Smoky Mountain.
Whoa, the Thrill Seekers?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, my God. It's some of the Dirty White Boy?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's some good wrestling.
Oh, my God.
My dad actually wrestled in Smoky Mountain.
Oh, sweet, dude.
I just saw
the Rock and Roll Express, like, lose their tag team.
Yeah.
Like, that shit, like, that was, like, breaking news without Twitter.
And I love, they had, there's, some Hawk promos that are funny. You gotta watch that stuff, guys.
Dirty White Boy is, like, at this point in time, like, my favorite old wrestler.
And Dirty White Girl.
And the Dirty White Girl. Like, y'all think, if y'all ain't got the network, y'all just like, because a lot of people with the network, they just watch it for the pay-per-views. They don't go back and watch this stuff. It's all this old content. You got to get it. But
I would say between, like, old content, NXT, and then things like, even things like Battleground and Swerve, just like little things. And then, plus, you have the pay-per-views on top of it. It's well worth $10.
Go look for Dirty White Boy, okay?
Yeah.
That guy cuts ill promos. His old lady is fucking fantastic. They're great. They're the greatest thing ever. And then, like, the guys that are talking, like, in between matches and stuff, they're, like, suit and tie, glasses, just straight up, like just guys, but they're mafia, you know? They're like wrestling mafia. And they look the part, and, like, it's good stuff. I can't put this shit over anymore. But I'm just saying, the network, the canceled WWE network, people canceled, but then there was this influx of new fucking subscribers.
For sure.
New shows, old shows put on. Then, you got the Beast in the East.
Oh, yeah, these specials that they did, the Beast in the East, the takeovers. They did the one show in New
Brock
York.
and MSG. Yeah. Brock Lesnar and MSG. And then shows like Breaking Ground. So, yeah, man, a good year. They're breaking up, like, Smoky Mountain. They brought up
like some world class.
Yeah, dude. Like,
yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
So definitely, I imagine just from those alone, you got some new subscribers from guys around our age. I mean, my age, like
for sure.
That remember older than me. That was like, I could go back and watch them old joints, like old Dusty in them, and watch like old like Rock and Roll Express and all that shit. Hell yeah. CM Punk. A guy who
leaving, yeah,
he had already left.
No, not the beginning of last year. He left during Mania, right before Mania, right before the Rumble.
It's been 2 years ago. That was last year. But this year he signs to I bring him up. He had already been gone.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Because the winner of that Royal Rumble was Batista.
Oh, okay.
So he left then, and then this year we find out that he signed a deal with UFC. See, around this time he drops the podcast. That was 2014. He dropped the podcast, and then later on, a couple of months later, I would say February.
That's crazy because they chanted his name last Raw, and he's been gone 2 years. That's nuts.
Yep. So I still fuck him. He's a self-absorbed bastard. He's always in wrestling news. He puts himself in wrestling news. He wants to separate himself from wrestling. Then separate your fucking self from wrestling. You still go by CM Punk. Like, chill. Like, don't fucking see. He's such an elitist, and he's like, I'm above wrestling, but I still go by CM Punk, and I still do wrestling things. He still, fuck you, whatever. Maybe you feel differently. Maybe that's your boy. I
mean, I don't know. I wish you could wrestle again. I wish maybe go somewhere and wrestle.
Yeah,
do your thing.
I wish you would just go the fuck away. How about that? Like, go away. Peace, Punk. You want to leave? Then go fuck away. Stop reeling your ugly head in places where you don't want to even invite yourself. So you're still an egomaniac. The Legend of Mizdow.
Oh yeah, this is great.
Legend of Mizdow and Axelmania. Those are two high points of this year.
That's definitely one thing that the Hogan thing did that definitely just ruined like other people. Like Hogan's, he's a superstar in wrestling. Like he's like part of the Mount Rushmore, I would say. And when those comments definitely affected other people, just like Axelmania.
Yeah, but Curtis Axel. But here's the thing about Curtis Axel is that like he shifted to Axelmania around SummerSlam. But his ongoing tale was that he had never got ejected from the Royal Rumble, and so that's when he was like Axelmania runs wild. Like because I'm still in the Rumble. I'm still in the fucking Rumble. And I wonder how they're gonna do it this year. I'm curious how they're gonna do Axel this year because I think for me that's one of the bigger storylines of the Rumble. Like he never got out.
Yeah.
Like, whatever. But Mizdow, the feud between well, not necessarily a feud. It became a feud later, but he won Double Cross of the Year, Mizdow. But Damien Sandow becoming the stunt double for Miz, and that being like a plot for a good amount of the year, and him just getting hella over.
Yeah.
It was a good stuff. Definitely just a gimmick of what went through. The return of Brock Lesnar and him actually leaving the MMA world completely and signing to the WWE. and him starting his feud with The Undertaker. He got to fight him in SummerSlam. They got to fight in Hell in a Cell. Was it 3 parts? 2 parts? Well,
the WrestleMania 30 where
so he had already beaten him a year prior.
Yeah.
And then he signs full time. And then he faces him. How did they even?
Brock came back to wrestle Rollins, and then Taker came back, and then
kicked him right in the ding ding.
Yeah, that's how Rollins beat Brock. Brock pissed at Taker. Then going into SummerSlam, Brock and Taker low blows him.
The low blow.
Fake taps, and then taps Brock passes out, building to the Hell in the Cell match where Brock wins again.
Flaming finger.
Yeah. Brock Lesnar's the shit.
Yeah,
I love how he won this feud too.
Yeah.
Passing the torch a little bit, and now
he still kept him strong. He still kept Taker strong.
Sure. It was good. I wonder what they're gonna do. I mean, they had to play into it. It was definitely like one of the major feuds of the year, if not the feud of the year for WWE.
Yes, yeah. You're right.
So I wonder how they're gonna play into that.
Versus either it's the feuds of the year or this. The WWE versus its fans, and seriously, I think it's a great storyline. I mean, between the rejection of Roman Reigns, the cancellation of the WWE Network, dealing with like bad storylines and all that stuff, and just CM Punk chants, Daniel Bryan chants. That is a feud. Yeah. WWE versus the Universe, and Taker versus Lesnar. And speaking of Taker, he came back. He fought. He had a feud with Brock Lesnar, and he wrestled in 3 events. We got him 3 times this year. His final one was against Bray Wyatt.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of Taker, and he celebrated his 25th year in the business.
Or in WWE.
In WWE. Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
we had the Del Rio return.
Wait for it though.
Sorry.
Got the death of Pero Aguero down in AAA. He was in a match with Rey Mysterio. People tried to blame Rey Mysterio for the 619 and him going down, but in fact, it was just built up stress in his body, and it just finally gave out during the match. I mean, he's a wrestler. What other way would you go out? It makes everything weird, obviously. But you look at guys like Pistol Pete. You look at guys like the jogging guy. I can't even think of his name, but he made jogging popular in America, and he died jogging. Just the guy who created this Segway. He died on a Segway. He drove him. He rode off a cliff in the fucker. But not to take it lightly, but you get the point I'm saying. He died doing something he absolutely loved, and now a lot of us don't get that won't get that pleasure. Won't get that opportunity. It's not like me and him could be doing the podcast and just drop dead on your ass, we'd never get that opportunity. But I don't know if we love podcasting that much to where.
Not like this guy loved wrestling. He wrestled so long, and he had like this like gothic feel, like a kind of a Marilyn Manson-esque that's still in
like a Misfits
sort of. Yeah. That's still in like Mexican wrestling to this day. Like so many characters like spawn from it. So. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
And then it's funny because it was all surrounded by one event. And earlier that week, they had a horrible bus accident that killed. Her name was Irma Osorno. So there's a dark cloud over this one AAA event, which resulted in both these deaths. I'm glad they were able to get past it. But it was a dark period. It seemed like something wasn't right in the cosmos for that promotion. And just 2 deaths trying to make this. Because, they had to. It was like it got washed out or something weather related. This bus thing, they moved to another place. The turnout wasn't as good because they had to postpone. And then this happens. Just a sad moment for wrestling. And then, that bus ride injured 30 and then killed 1. And then you had the Triple Mania 23 debacle.
It's a bummer. Yeah, this is a rough year for AAA now that I'm thinking about it. Especially, like I said earlier, we kind of jumped the gun. But, Del Rio leaving. This is a big star you had. You almost felt like it was going to be a resurgence of AAA. because you had Mystico, you had Del Rio, you had Ray, and now I think the main character, Del Rio leaving as your champion, and then having these two blunders here in shows. Really, I mean, I think they can bounce back. I think they got a strong group of wrestlers there, but it does. I'm sure they're glad to kind of like put 2015 behind them a little bit.
You think?
Yeah.
The return of Sting and his feud with Seth Rollins, which resulted in him getting buckle bombed twice and put on the show.
With Triple H.
Yeah, and Triple H, yeah.
Yeah.
WrestleMania, yes. We saw him walk out of WrestleMania. It wasn't Starrcade. It was fucking WrestleMania, baby. And he's walking down. His music sucked. But nevertheless, it was awesome to see the presentation of Sting out of WrestleMania.
I thought it was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. It sucks that hindsight's 2020, but it was cool to see him at least come down. The match itself was what it was, and then of course he got hurt with Rollins.
The ascension of the New Day. They're at a situation where they're the tag team champs, but after Mizdow, they sort of took the reins of that sort of the entertainment part of wrestling and sports entertainment. As of now, again, I have my feelings about them now. It's different than say when it first started, but when it first started, that shit was hot to death. And then the involvement of Stephen Amell, who was the Red Arrow, the Green Arrow. He had a feud with Stardust, and that was
pretty cool.
That was interesting. They got to fight.
Apparently, he's going to be in the movies, The Justice League and stuff. So his star is about to blow up.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, he's about to be with Ben Affleck and stuff in movies.
Speaking of call up, enter Kevin Owens this year to the main roster. He's immediately thrusted into a feud with Cena, where he won one of three. He won on the network only. What was that called?
The Elimination Chamber.
No, it wasn't Elimination Chamber.
Are you sure?
What's Elimination? Oh yeah, you're right. It was he got his first win, Elimination Chamber. I still got my video up, and my shock, to my dismay, that still gets fucking clicks every once in a while. But yeah, that was what you call an introduction. He beat him.
Yeah, he wasn't even involved with the company at all. So for him to come in to NXT, face
short fucking time in NXT.
Yeah. Won the belt off of his real life best friend and on screen worst enemy. So that's kind of cool. And then moving on after Zayn gets hurt, moving on to feud with Cena. And now he's still with the company. And now he's still with the main roster.
Being pushed the way he should right now as a fucking... It's just a badass. He's a badass. He's destroying everyone.
Well, let's hope it continues. Him and Dean, so it's a prominent role there.
And Neville. I think Neville's going to be...
If you look at the polarizing... If you look at that, like Neville came in right out, hot, the Raw after Mania... But they really haven't done much with him since. No,
I'm just saying the involvement of I don't really consider him. I'm just saying this feud that's moving forward with him. Neville has a place in this. This is a good push. This is going to be a push for Neville. This was good. We'll talk about it in the Raw review.
Okay.
But there was a knee jerk reaction at first to what had happened, and I was like, no, this is actually a good thing. Well, anyway, PWG and it becoming what's the word? It is a talent. It is a ground of talent. People are realizing that that's where the talent is. It has become the place where you will run into Regal. It's a place you'll run into Triple H or something. Not necessarily Triple H, but Regal. You'll run into all the who's who in the wrestling world to scout talent. That it's become between the things that I've seen, what Battle of Los Angeles.
They have the DDT.
Untitled.
Yeah, Untitled, Mystery Vortex.
Vortex, all those.
Tons of shows, yeah.
Just picking up, and a lot of the guys in that being, Puma, the Young Bucks.
Roderick Strong, Zack Sabre Jr., Rich Swann, who just got signed to NXT.
A lot of talent coming out. Uhaa Nation,
Busek,
Chris Cage. They call him Cage. There's so much talent getting work from doing that. And I think there's going to be a lot more talent coming in. And I think because they're never going to get big. I don't think they want to get big. They just want to be in LA in that dingy ass fucking auditorium and just like that be, and a no AC, and that be its thing, to where it's like, we don't come to you, you come to us.
Yeah.
You're going to start seeing Triple H there at some point. You will. And I think maybe, just like Evolve, and that's part of the thing too, Evolve aligning with the WWE to bring in the talent into NXT. We've seen Johnny Gargano.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Even Sami Zayn showing up at the Evolve shows.
Yes.
When he was, the NXT champion and everything. That's cool. That's, I guess the developmental for the developmental is
for the developmental.
Yeah.
And them cutting ties with ROH over like some silly Daniel Bryant business. But Liger, the homie,
showing up in WWE. That's nuts. If you would have told me that Sting and Liger would have both been in the WWE this year, I would have told you to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yep. The U.S. Open Challenge.
Yeah, I said that was the best part of Raw every week.
For like a good block. Cena, it started off kind of slow because they were just getting like main event or like superstar caliber guys going up against them. Stardust. Who else was in there? I think Harper even tried to get in there. But like all of a sudden they got this bright idea to bring in like workers. Like work rate guys. So Neville, Kevin Owens, Cesaro, and those matches really helping Cena get over it. Once you think about it, it really helped him get over. Even if it was like booze, it was him getting over, and people were going like, when they said, who's some of the best matches this year? Well, shit, those U.S. Open challenges were kind of great. Oh yeah, Cesaro carried the weight, but hey, Cena was still in him. And
we got to see all those great moves that Cena would do, like the springboard stunner. I know he did the
Cena Carrana.
Yeah, the Cena Carrana. I forget the move that Amazing Red does. The Code Red.
Yes. Or the Canadian Destroyer.
Oh, it's a little different.
But,
a little tweak, but yeah, it's fucking cool. Yeah, John Cena, and then we saw a little bit of that on Raw this week too.
Yep. And then, what is it? We got the worst love triangle storyline ever with the breaking up of Rusev and Lana, which I don't really want to go into detail about, but it really was just a horrible thing. They should have. It's like just, you know how you want to just take Chris Benoit. He's not out of the WWE network, but like how you just remove Hogan. So when down the road, when you stock these fucking Raws up, you want to take that out. You want nothing to do with this Dolph Ziggler, Lana, Rusev, Summer Rae triangle. You want none of that. Billy Corgan in TNA. Him joining what did he become? Almost basically.
He's a writer.
In GM almost.
Oh yeah.
Or something. He became like something.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't last long. It got TNA a bunch of fucking notoriety, but 2 weeks later, Destination America decides they want to drop him. Mm-hmm. Then they bring in ROH to Destination America as a lead-in. That whole debacle. Because they get dropped because there's this whole thing with Vince Russo still in cahoots.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous. I guess they were talking to him under the table.
Well, that was Spike TV. That was part of Spike TV.
Oh yeah.
Destination America kept getting emails of Dixie Carter just straight up talking shit about him. Yeah. Just a bunch of bullshit. GFW comes in. They run a little angle with Jeff Jarrett and the Mountain, whatever, King of the Mountain thing. And
you got to see Trevor Lee, North Carolina's own, TNA that way.
Yeah, because they developed. You got Moose, Trevor Lee, Everett. What's his name?
Andrew
Everett, and a couple of other. Drew McIntyre. Just it's not like great stuff. I think even Scott Hall's even involved in GWH to a certain capacity. But it's just him trying to do something, and they got all these recordings and tapings, and they'll never see the light of day. What you got? And Destination America dropping ROH, and
and
TNA to become a paranormal activity channel.
Yeah, it was kind of strange. It was interesting that this little channel, Destination America, was like besides USA, the network for wrestling fans. Like, it's pretty interesting, pretty funny. But
GDYC signs.
What?
You know about this? JDYC. You see like a sign that says GDYC. God damn it, Cole.
Oh.
Like, yeah, God damn it, Cole. Like, they would pop up randomly. That was like a little like insider phenomenon thing that was happening this year. Gotta run through these. Nikki Bella beats AJ Lee's title reign for the longest reigning Diva champion. Charlotte becomes the new Divas champion a week after the streak was broke. The return of the Dudley boys, because even that earlier, Bubba Ray shows up in the Royal Rumble, does the 3D with R-Truth. They bring in Devon, boom, Dudley boys. They start a feud with the New Day. Now they're getting their ass handed to them, but nevertheless, the return of those guys. Sheamus winning the Money in the Bank. Okada becoming the IWGP champion by beating AJ Styles. Hiroshu, I can never say his first name right, but Tanahashi wins the G1 Classic for a second time. And he will now face Okada in Wrestle Kingdom 10, a reverse role of Say What Happened in 9. Okada versus Tanahashi as Tanahashi is champion. Now Okada returns as the champion to hopefully return the favor. I'm excited about this.
This is nuts. Yeah, it's coming up, dude. It's like 5 days away.
Oh, God, that's so great. Good stuff. And even if they don't do the GW joint, I could just watch it without the commentary.
I think it's English commentary, but it's not going to be with GFW this year. I think that's how it's working out. It might be
Axe. What do you call it?
No, I don't know if it's Access. I don't know. I think it's just like it's going to be an option on the New Japan World. So then that's how.
Okay, I don't need to hear that shit anyway. I like the Japanese commentary. I love the Japanese commentary.
I'll take it either way.
And then Strong wins the TV belt from Lethal. He finally drops one of them after defending it. I think since winning it twice, like a couple of times. He beat Hansen. He beat Fish, so then he drops it to Strong. He beat Strong in basically a Broadway. Well, he had a Broadway match with Strong for the belt. He's like, well, I can't get that. I get this TV belt. He makes him tap. Plus, we find out that the ROH Championship belt will be defended at Wrestle Kingdom 10. The first time that the ROH belt, is going to be up for grabs at.
That's a big deal, yeah. It's
nuts. Huge deal. And it's Jay Lethal versus a rising star in New Japan.
Michael Elgin.
Return of Del Rio. And he beats John Cena to become the new U.S. champion. On top of that, Cena leaves for a sabbatical. Injuries. For
sure.
Cesaro, Randy Orton. Earlier in the year, we had Tyson Kidd. We got the Uso. They had injuries for Jimmy Uso.
Rollins.
Yeah. How could I forget Rollins? Sting. Sure. Any other?
Well, now currently, just recently, Barrett and Sin Cara got hurt.
Yeah. Tons plagued, injury plagued. Bottom
Darren
half
Young, if you want to go that low on the card.
Go that low.
Oh.
Reigns wins the belt at Survivor Series, but it is cashed in by Sheamus. Retains it at TLC, only to lose it to Reigns on the Raw after. Nice. We get the return of Vince McMahon. We get NXT in London, the first ever NXT event, takeover. I think event at all. Well,
what do you mean?
Takeover. It's the first takeover event. It was the first tour in Europe for the NXT brand, and they did a takeover in London. SmackDown moves to. Did USA? I skip it? Yeah, I'm at the end of it. SmackDown decides to move to USA. Moves to Thursdays first on Sci-Fi, and now moves to USA next year with the lead commentary. Ronaldo, I guess. Ranello.
Ranello. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah,
Of Axis.
Yeah, from Access TV doing the New Japan shows. So, hell yeah, there you go.
That's
Canada's own.
And what you just checked out was Peter and Jake's Talks Wrasslin
Here in review.
2015 Wrasslin review. All right, what's that? Peyton Manning could be active Sunday. Oh, fuck it. But so with that out the way, let's
jump into Raw.
Let's jump right into Raw.